All right. Okay, good morning. Welcome to Advanced to Apprenticeship State Advisory Committee. Thank you again for being here with us this morning. I'm Brady Solomon, the Employment Project Coordinator for the Strong Center for Developmental Disabilities with the University of Rochester. And I am joined by my colleague, Mara Lee.
Morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us this morning.
And as well as Colleen.
Good morning. How is everybody?
All right. So let's get started. So Pat Dowse is also a part of our team. She is not able to be here today, but we have a few people on the call right now. If you could do just a quick introduction for the record of your name and who you are representing. And we can start with Frank.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Frank Balatin. I am a owner of an advanced manufacturing company down here in the Hudson Valley, and I've been working with individuals with barriers to employment for about 5-6 years now. And this work of the that we're doing at Rochester University is very important. So it's good to meet everybody.
Michelle.
Hi, I'm Michelle Jordan. I am the employment liaison actually in Region 2, but I will be representing OPWDD for Julia Kelly and Christine Snyder today.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Beth.
Good morning. I'm Mary Beth Schneider. I work with both the New York State Department of Labor and New York State Office of the Chief Disability Officer. I am the Inclusive Internship Coordinator.
Fantastic.
I thought I heard my name, but then I looked down in the closed caption and I saw that my name was indeed called. Sorry about that. My headset must have been weird. Alan Gallagher, New York State Department of Labor. I work with Mary Beth and the Office of Career Development and Inclusion. Our office oversees services or capacity building services to our staff and partners to better serve individuals facing multiple barriers to employment, including people with disabilities, but also justice-involved job seekers, the youth of our great state, and the future of work, which is really response to exponential technologies and the way that the business landscape is sort of changing, which advanced manufacturing falls into. So I'm really happy to be a part of this. Thanks for having me.
Nice to see you, Alan.
Lauren.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Lauren Korp. I am the coordinator of Children and Transition Services with the New York State Commission for the Blind.
Thanks, Lauren.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you to everyone who is able to join us now and also join us through the recording. So with Advanced to Apprenticeship, we are in our 4th year of our 5-year project, and we are down to about 18 months of us continuing to pilot the model and work with our 2 regions, Mohawk Valley as well as Rochester, to continue to learn lessons about what it takes to make the best inclusive pre-apprenticeship programs that are supporting people with moving into registered apprenticeships in manufacturing. And the more that we learn about this is so many more industries that are apprenticeshipable as well. So this has definitely been an exciting journey. Starting with Rochester, we are continuing our relationship with the Center for Workforce Development. We were able to successfully work with our first welding student throughout the spring of 2024, and they were able to finish in June. And through the vocational collaborations we were able to make with their supports through Access VR, as well as community employers, we were able to assist with getting a work tryout at one of our very supportive manufacturers here in Rochester called Trueform. And the student, the graduate, ended with a welding training completion. And through this company, they've been able to come in as a machinist with the opportunity to grow in different roles, such as welding and such. But through the training program, they actually learned that the 3 types of welding are what most employers are looking for when they bring you on, but they were really only interested in one part of it. So that was a great lesson for them to realize that there's other ways that I can pivot this training and skill development that I received into doing more things that I like versus getting into a welding position and then not liking it after the fact. So this has been a great journey of exposure and exploration for them. And I got a report last week that they are doing very well in their role and expect to be hired on as a full employee after work tryout with Access VR. They started in July. Thank you. I seen some little applause. We are very excited about it as well, and definitely following them very closely because we want them to continue to feel successful with everything they've done and can do as they move forward in their career. So the Center for Workforce Development has started. Well, what day is it? Tomorrow. So on September 10th, they will start their fall classes. And we are continuing that relationship with machining, manufacturing technician, as well as welding. We do have another welding student who is enrolled with CWD for the fall semester. And we have 3 students who we were able to connect with actually last week. And we are trying to make sure that they also are supported and on their journey to inclusive apprenticeships through their programs. The CWD, Center for Workforce Development, is already enrolling for the spring 2025. So while the fall courses are in action, we are continuing to hold preview days for interested spring students to come in and experience more of what the class feels like, looks like, sounds like, more than an open house can do. Open house will be in October, but throughout the fall, we will host individualized preview sessions based on candidate interest. And if you know anyone who may be interested in joining in the Rochester area, send them my way. Marilee.
So we had a very thorough evaluation and did a pre and post evaluation for the trainings that we did with the businesses. We did student evaluations as well as written evaluations, and then we did interviews just to see how we were doing, how we can improve the project. The businesses, we really focused on neurodiversity and ADA and person first language. And the majority of businesses were satisfied with the trainings. So that was positive. In our student evaluations, 6 out of the 7 students rated the trainings as excellent. And they did have some really good feedback for us, and that was to increase the certification options and more hands-on learning than they were getting. 100% of the students received the OSHA 10 certification, so that was really positive outcome. And 100% of the students were employed. Some of the students already had been employed, but there were several students that either gained a new position, added responsibilities, and or went into continuing education. So 43% of that first cadre, so that we're talking about the first cadre out of Mohawk Valley Community College, and 43% of them went on to try different continuing education courses, which I think surprised us. So that wasn't an initial goal of ours, but we could really see the benefit, and we could see the comfort level of students where I think at first they didn't feel like maybe they belonged in post-secondary education. And then after getting really comfortable with the environment and the space and the teachers, then they were able to really look at the different opportunities available to them. And 4 out of 7 students did take a new position or have new responsibilities in their job. Yeah, so the improvements that we looked at, that we decided as a team, and in addition to the student feedback, that we really needed to make sure that the students were connected with services earlier to make that transition easier on the other end. There was sometimes a mismatch, so some of the students coming into the project wanted part-time employment only, and most manufacturers really focus on full-time employment and apprenticeship. So that was kind of tricky, and I think we try to make sure that on the early end, people understood that is really looking for full-time work. And we're continuing to look at long-term sustainability and then program expansion. So we're really working with Colleen from Mohawk Valley, with MACNY, and looking at how we can really make this project sustainable and then expand across the state.
Our evaluation plan was sent out and will be sent out again with the post-meeting information. And it talks all about our cohort 1 from Mohawk Valley Community College. We also had a cohort 2 at Mohawk Valley Community College, which happened over the spring of 2024 and ended in June. We were able to continue with getting students those certifications with OSHA 10, as well as radar stipends for completion for those eligible students through our phenomenal partnership with the radar grant in the Mohawk Valley area, as well as the disability resource coordinator at Working Solutions Workforce Center in that area. Through MACNY, our manufacturing partner, we were able to host and be a part of 2 manufacturing days, along with the sister project, it seems, Rosie's, which is a very similar pre-apprenticeship instruction model. And through that, there were companies such as Wolfspeed and DM and Danfoss and more who were represented in those interview days, and students had the opportunity to choose who they wanted to interview with. So some of that advanced to apprenticeship data continuation, like Mary Lee was able to state, all of our students from cohort 1 with Mohawk Valley are working, and still to date, they're working across manufacturing and customer service, as well as some food services industries based on their interests, of course. With our first cohort out of Rochester with the Center for Workforce Development, we really were able to harness the power of connection and partnership, and those VR supports being in place for the graduate in Rochester were able to help with that smooth transition into a work tryout and an employment opportunity that may have been lagged if those supports didn't already exist. So that has become something that we are making sure is top loaded as much as possible, with people who are interested in the program being connected to support and resources before the program start, if possible, and definitely before the program ends once they're enrolled, so they can continue on their journey. And cohort 2 was a growth model. We experienced more students being interested, actually a double in enrollment initially in cohort 2 at Mohawk Valley over cohort 1. And even though we had a few students who did not complete, the students who did stay definitely found value, and we were able to end the year learning about one graduate actually getting an apprenticeship within human resources with the Independent Living Center in their area. So of course, we're all about manufacturing, but a win is a win. Like that was a tremendous opportunity for them that they jumped into and are doing very well in today. There also were a couple students from cohort 1 who got into government positions. One is working with the defense accounting department, doing customer service for our active military and our veterans. And they love feeling like they are, and because they are helping our country and helping the people who help to protect our country. So that is phenomenal. And the other graduate in a government position is working for the state government in the emergency preparedness program, going around their area, helping the staff there with the residents of those areas learn about being a prepared New Yorker. And they're enjoying that opportunity to do a little travel around the area, but also to ensure people feel prepared in case of disaster. Colleen.
Thanks, Brandy. So, okay, for sustainability, I'm working on several things right now, but Advanced to Apprenticeship in the Mohawk Valley is considered a direct entry program for manufacturing through MACNY's group sponsorship. The one in Rochester is not, it doesn't meet the qualifications for direct entry, but we're gonna, I hope, with Rich Turner's help, work on making it a direct entry program. And a direct entry program is certified by the New York State Department of Labor as a pre-apprenticeship program designed to help individuals who may be lacking basic skills or work readiness skills, or just some of like the entry level technical skills one might need to enter an apprenticeship. So it's designed to help those individuals gain enough of that skill set to be able to become an apprentice in advanced manufacturing in this case, but really direct entry programs could be for the construction industry as well. Just this one is for manufacturing. And it is the first of its kind in New York State. So New York State recently amended the qualifications to become a direct entry program to include individuals with disabilities as a category of individuals who are targeted for these training programs. So to be direct entry, you have to meet certain qualifications, like I said. So one of them is they have to have technical skills component to the training. The second component is that you need to have soft skills or power skills added as a component of the training. The program has to be free for individuals. So those who participate in direct entry programs cannot be charged tuition. And it has to be connected to a sponsor of registered apprenticeship, which MACNY is a group sponsor in the Mohawk Valley for advanced manufacturing roles. So we guarantee that the individuals will be interviewed for positions at companies who offer registered apprenticeship. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, what a direct entry program needs to do to qualify as direct entry. We have that in place now. We are recognized. You can go on the New York State DOL website and see our program listed there as direct entry. And because we were able to do that, we were able to secure funding through the New York State Department of Labor for direct entry programs to pilot a few more. Right now, our Real Life Rosies program, which is the companion program to Advanced to Apprenticeship and what we consider the companion program. We're starting off in Onondaga and Oswego counties with that cohort, and we're hoping to start a new cohort of Advanced to Apprenticeship students in those areas as well after we get the Rosies off the ground. So I think I covered everything, Brandy, but let me know. I'm filling in for Pat today, so.
Any questions, please? If you have questions you want to throw in the chat or at the end, please let us know. But thank you, Colleen, for that. So now we're on to next steps. Marilee.
So we held a roundtable in August, and it included people who were trying to create pre-apprenticeship programs specifically for people with disabilities. So we had SUNY Ulster. We also had folks from the uniquely abled in their they have a new project running. So, and we also had the gentleman who created Uniquely Abled all coming together to talk about the different ways that we run our programs, some of the strengths that we had. And then I think the consensus was that the folks found it really valuable in order to share different resources and information, so nobody had to recreate the wheel. So we will be doing that on a regular basis. And we are finalizing, we have a draft of the A2A replication model paper. So hopefully this paper can be used either statewide or nationally in order to just help put the structure down on paper, let people understand how it works, some of the learning that we had and some of the improvements we would like to make, so that it just makes it easier for other people to consider starting a similar project either here in the state or nationwide. Oh, upcoming conferences. So we have been asked to present. Brandy, you might have to help me with the acronym. So we are doing a presentation in partnership with Mohawk Valley Community College. I believe it's an education conference, and also we will be presenting at the AUCD conference in DC about the A2A model.
Yes, and in June, we were able to do a presentation along with MACNY at the National APSE conference. So we are continuing to get the word out there about not only what Advanced to Apprenticeship is doing, but how it can be done in other areas through collaboration and partnerships with their workforce boards and VR agencies and manufacturing alliances and associations. So our call to action, as always, is to continue to support us, to support others by sharing the news about Advanced to Apprenticeship, but also registered apprenticeship opportunities, inclusive apprenticeships, just making sure that it continues to be out there. And I heard Alan talking about all the great work that's happening at the DOL, and it's a great time to keep momentum going to ensure that all people, no matter what their diverse abilities are able to have a full self-sufficient life through workforce opportunities. So we also have a demographic survey that is live. We sent out a request to do this last year, but there was an update through our funders, the Council of Developmental Disabilities, and there is additional identification options and such. So it's a new survey that we are pushing out to all of our advisory members across the state to be able to complete for our funding. We have to report on our advisory members. So if you've already done it, thank you very much. I have the QR code and the link embedded within the presentation, and we also will ensure the link is in the post-meeting communications as well. It's very quick, takes less than 2 minutes, just a few clicks, and then we can fulfill our obligations. So thank you very much for that. At this time, if you have any questions or thoughts about the project or anything that you think we may can add, or just let us know.
Hi, it's Mary Beth Schneider. Can I just pop in with a couple questions?
Please.
So, two things. Forgive me if I misunderstood something. I think you were talking about expanding apprenticeships into other industries, and I'm just curious. No, you didn't mention that.
So now, not through this project, the fact
Okay.
that apprenticeship is available within other industries
Gotcha.
is an area that, you know, are becoming more knowledgeable through this process. But through this project, no.
Okay, thanks for that clarification.
We
And the
are-
other,
We
go ahead,
are,
I'm sorry.
we are just expanding the same model in advanced manufacturing in different locations.
Gotcha, sorry for that. And the other thing is, you know, my position is to help people find opportunities within state agencies. So I'm always interested in seeing if there's a place where I can plug in and help. So I'd like to share resources with
I
you
think
all, if that's possible.
I'm kind of on the ground here in the Mohawk Valley for the Advanced to Apprenticeship program. I think you might have reached out to my colleague, or maybe one of your colleagues has reached out to mine about the same thing. And we are trying to get these individuals employed in manufacturing. That's kind of the goal of the program. But we do have some instances where participants go through the program and realize manufacturing is not for me. So I think in those cases where we need to find an alternative employment solution for someone, that might be an opportunity for.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I heard you mention somebody working for, I don't know, working for the state, doing disaster preparedness or emergency preparedness or something like that. So I'm really eager to find different ways to help people get into state service.
Mary Beth, why don't we can reach out to you and we can set up a meeting and then figure out how we can align forces here.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
This is Frank. If you don't mind, I'd like to just give you my manufacturing perspective of what you've just presented, and I think it's very positive. You've mentioned a few things that are absolutely correct, okay? And one of them is this manufacturing interest. You know, with the experiences that we've been having, and you've now experienced the same thing, is it's a win if somebody goes into the program and realizes that manufacturing's not for them. And there's nothing wrong with that, because it does take a lot of effort by us manufacturers to put people into apprenticeship programs. And there's a lot of training time that is required. And it's not a good decision if someone gets started in that pathway, then decides this is not what they want to do. So that's okay. And what I try to explain is with the programs that we've been involved with here is, I've been putting people in non-manufacturing placements that are high technical, mostly in IT and also in other technical areas that like cybersecurity, etc. But they've seen manufacturing and now they kind of get a gist of what it is. And my hope is always that if that doesn't play out in the future for them, they at least know that manufacturing jobs are might become interest. And in the meantime, all that work experience that they're gathering is really good preparation for someone to then go into an apprenticeship program in a different industry. And it's very well known that when you're at that young an age, you'll make decisions and change your job career pathways like most of us have. And it's just the way it's going to be. So it's a good win if they can at least get into employment. But another really good win, which was mentioned also, which is very important, is this interest now in going into secondary education. And that's key, because we depend upon our community colleges to do apprenticeship training. And there's been numerous times where they've never thought they could do community college work, and this program gets them into a community college. And I've seen situations where I've had very good, highly educated young people that have, disabilities, that had to have their mom take them to campus, to the Ulster County Community College, which is what we work with here. And the mom had to show them how to get to class, and then also how to get to lunch and then move around the campus. And this young man now is going for a 4-year degree, starting with 2 years of community college. And then we're pushing him into hopefully he's not in manufacturing, but he wants to go into cybersecurity, which is awesome, because that's going to be a very valuable job opportunity for many years to come. So that's something that's always, again, a win. And the third thing you mentioned, which we also see here time and time again, is individuals coming out of their programs in school, that have the BOCES programs, whatever they might be, that for individuals with disabilities, they don't have the expectation of working full time. And in manufacturing, we want full-time employees and we'll pay the benefits and give them the 401ks, etc., because that's how we have to manufacture. We can't have part-time positions unless you're just doing very simple manufacturing. As it gets more complicated, we really require young people that come to work for us to be fully employed, or at least work their way to it. I have a situation right now that I'm working with one of the disability agencies here in Hudson Valley, and this young man never considered working full time, and he really wants to go into manufacturing. So what we've done is we're working with Access VR now to give him a work experience that will give him a few weeks of part-time work, probably up maybe a month or two of part-time work, and then really see if he wants to do this. And then he has said he would like to then go to full-time. And that's a very reasonable way of getting these individuals, pushed up the process of thinking broader than what they have been experiencing today, because it is a challenge to come to work 8 hours a day for 5 days a week. And that's what we need in our technical industries, is someone that's a full-time employee, and will pay the benefits and everything else that goes on top of it, which is typically just the opposite of what you'll find in other industry sectors that hire individuals that they don't want to pay benefits, so they don't even offer full-time employment. So I think those are three things that you've mentioned, and it's really exactly what we have to do to get these people into these higher skilled jobs, especially apprenticeships. Very good work.
Thank you, Frank. Any other feedback or different areas there we may be overlapping or that we could work together on? If anybody has things that they think about, please feel free to reach back out to us. Brandy just put up her email address, so feel free to contact us anytime, and we'll get back in touch with you. Thank you so much for being with us today. We really appreciate you and the work that you've helped to get us along this journey. And obviously, there's been a lot of benefit from this creation and collaboration. So thank you very much, and hope you have a very nice day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.